For you, there is normal. For society, there is another range of normal. So right now it is which normal is normal. Hello and welcome back again to Ask Uche. I know it's been since a week now since I last posted a video, and that has been due to my toothache. Have been having like this severe toothache, but I'm better now. I'm taking my medications and hopefully I'll be fully recovered this week. So guys, as you can see, I have my elder sister joining me in my video. It took forever to get this girl to be here today.
It's not that bad. Come on.
It took forever. So I'm going to be letting her to introduce herself to you guys, my family. So what do you have to say about yourself?
Hi guys. I'm a tad shy, camera shy.
Actually.
Okay, my name is Miracle Okpala. This is my younger sister. How do you guys cope with her? She can be annoying sometimes.
Really?
She troubles me a whole lot. I'm a calm one and she's a talker. She's everywhere. And it's good to be here. I'm a graduate of English from the University of Lagos, and I love to write. I'm also an award-winning bathroom singer.
I know, right? I think we do that, both of us.
All the time.
Yeah.
So back to the topic.
Being ambidextrous. So this is story time. Guys, grab your popcorn and get back.
Okay, I hope I get paid at the end of this video for this.
It depends, guys. It depends on how many subscribers I have. So please help my ministry. Subscribe, like, and comment. You can also turn on the post notification bell for you to receive future updates. So let's get to it.
Okay, so I think I'd like to brand this talk where normal isn't normal. Yeah. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, definitely.
So when normal isn't normal, my sister here was born, she was actually born left-handed. Okay, for the most part of her life, especially as a toddler, she was left-handed. She'd always use her left hand to do every single thing. And we found it fascinating. By we, I mean myself, my mom, my dad, my siblings. Why? Because she was the only person who was born left-handed in the family. And the rest of us were right-handed, and then she is left-handed, but she was left-handed. Because right now she's ambidextrous. She's confused.
No, all my ambidextrous people, tell her in the comment section that that's not true.
I meant to say she uses both hands perfectly.
I'm special.
In confusion. Okay, so back to the story, and she was born that way, and it was fascinating. The only time we had issues was when we had to tell her to switch between both legs of her shoes or slippers.
You just had to bring that in.
She would go right foot here and then left foot here and walk the street that way. We had to call her, but good news, no. We call her good news at home. Yeah. Good news, come back and change your slippers. Immediately, also.
Woo!
Yeah, so apart from that, we found it intriguing, and also my granddad is left-handed. So it was, one person in the house that took after him, and none of his children are left-handed.
True.
So it was a grandchild that took on that trait, and it was just beautiful. And so she went to school, as usual. Toddlers have to go to school at the end of the day. We all passed through school, whether or not we liked it. And she was in school, and she was doing beautifully, I must confess. She was within the range of first to third in class. Until one term. Semesters for uni,
Yeah.
So one term in school, she came back on her report sheet, said, read 20th. She came 20th in class. And so it was a first. So we were really surprised at home. Everybody was asking questions. What could have happened? Good news. What exactly went wrong? Why didn't you do well at school? I mean, even if you were going to do terribly, we were expecting something like maybe within the range of 6 to 10. But 20th was like the height of it. I think she was either the last or second to the last or something.
It was last. I came last position.
She came last position that term. And from first to last, there just has to be a story. Picture me as an African mother right now. You have to tell me why my child came 20th from first.
So
really how? after paying school fees? Is it easy to make the money? Do you know
Calm
how
down,
I sweat?
you're not my mother.
In the
Like,
office every day, tasking myself mentally, physically.
girl,
and
you're my
otherwise
sister. You're
train
not my
children
mother.
in
So,
school.
okay.
Okay, I'm not a mom.
Okay.
I'm just playing the role of African
So
mother.
I
but
came back
yeah.
home that time, and I remember my mom asking me questions on why I took last position in class. And I was a bit scared because at that time, it's like what my teacher would always say to me and say, use your right hand, don't use your left hand. So that kind of thing just kept on messing up with my psychology, and I kind of drifted away from in my class. I would sit alone, wouldn't want to associate with people. So when I came back that term, it was kind of difficult for me to spill to my mom and tell my mom, oh, this is what happened. But finally I was able to do that. My mom knew that, oh, this has escalated, and she had to come to my school to meet my teachers, and that was when they had to stop me from using they had to stop forcing me from using my right hand. But at that moment, it was kind of late because I had already mastered writing with my right hand.
Yes, and her confusion began from that day. So
Correct.
now the stress came on us,
Did it?
her siblings. We had to ask her, okay, what hand do you use to write? And she go, my right hand. Okay, take a pen. What hand do you use to eat? This hand. Okay, take. I'm really used to having rubber bands in my head. Okay, what hand would you use to sweep? Okay, take a broom on that hand. It was really stressful. And I remember one time our doctor told us that he had actually messed her up because they had altered some wiring in her brain or something.
Come on.
Like, it was that pathetic because I know my mom mentioned it to our doctor.
This is me you're talking about here. There's nothing pathetic about me.
Let me be the judge of that. I have stayed with you for over 20 years now, or thereabouts. So, I want to advise people. So we are back to the topic. I said earlier I would like to brand it when normal isn't normal. Yes. So it is natural for society to try to shape us into something that we're not.
True.
I mean, everybody can relate to this. There's some things you would otherwise not do if society hadn't, forced you or structured you or had you grow up in that pattern.
Yeah.
So it could be in terms of your looks. Society wants you to look a certain way. It could be in terms of how you relate to people, how you talk,
Yeah.
how you socialize, your skills, how you go about your daily activities. Now, for you, there is normal. For society, there is another range of normal. So right now it
What?
is which normal is
It's
normal.
Doesn't make sense.
It should, it has to somehow. Okay, so what normal is normal? Is it your normal or society's definition of normal? I will answer this question by making a reference, a biblical reference. Remember the story of David and Goliath? It's a very, very popular story, but there's a lesson there. And Saul was going to, clothe David or wrap him up in all of those war materials, the shields, the helmet, the spear, and everything. And David said, no, I'll go head on with Goliath with
Yeah.
my sling and my stone.
And that was it.
This is what I know how to do. This is my normal as against society's normal that indicates that you have to go to war shielded and having all of that armor. Yeah. And you can see that David conquered that battle. I mean, of course, God was on his side. And that is to tell you that God will be on your side when you stick to the process you have known all the while.
That's
David
right. Preach
was
on, sis.
true to himself. This is what I know how to do best. I cannot deceive myself to want to look like a typical soldier or a normal soldier. This is how I killed the bear and the lion. This is how I will go head on with Goliath. Okay?
Yeah.
So now, this is for everybody out there who has, been caught in that web of trying to fit into societal roles, fit into society's definition of what you should be doing at a particular time, how you should talk, how you should sound,
You should
how you
act.
should look, how you should act, how you should
When
go
you
about your
speak.
daily activities. This is for you. Do you. Okay? Stick to your normal. Define your normal and stick to it. And the beautiful thing is, at the end of the day, society will have cause to agree with you, because you will come out more beautifully, more successfully than they ever imagined. Even in your normal, which is abnormal to society, okay?
Yeah.
So your normal is abnormal to them. So in that your abnormality, you would come out tops. You will come out beautiful, and they will have reason to agree with you, with your own way, and your own way will become a precedent to others after you. That's my little TED talk.
Okay, thank you. This is just to add to what she said, and this is not to throw shades at people who are ambidextrous, because I myself, I didn't go back to a point where I became all left-handed again. I had to learn how to, divide my chores with my both hands, and just find who you are. Like, this is who you are, and there's some certain things that, in as much as we want to change some certain things, you need to learn, unlearn, and relearn some certain things. But there are things that are important, there are things that should be your priority, and if it affects you so much that psychologically it drains you, emotionally it suffocates you, then you should try as much as possible to go back to the way you were doing it before you started listening to those magazines, before you started watching TV, on how you should be, basically. So I think we are 10 minutes 40 seconds and counting. We don't want to make this video
Quick
so long.
fact. So now she uses both hands, and I use my left hand to eat now.
She learned because she
did not
wanted to
learn.
be like me.
I don't know, I never for one day wanted to be like her. Okay, quick confession. I read it up somewhere that using both hands actually improves your mental abilities or something like that. It had something to do with, we're so used to using a particular side of our brain. So if you're right-handed, you only maximize one part of your brain, one side of your brain. And so to be able to use both sides effectively, you should try to do some things with your left hand. And so I thought of it, what basic thing do I do on a daily that I could incorporate my left hand into? And eating did it for me. Eating worked for me. Like, okay, I'll use my left hand to eat. And I started it. And today, that's all I ever do.
In as much as that theory or that's what you read up is true, there are also some findings that says that if you use both hands, that academically you kind of have this, what's it called? Limitation, because to assimilation, like you find it hard to assimilate faster, because they did a recent study on that, and I don't want to get into that, but I'm just trying to say that people have different opinions as regards
Thank
to that.
you for this. After I had gotten accustomed to using my left hand to eat, I read another one that said if you use both hands, you are slower than the right-handed people and the left-handed. You come last. Right-handed first, left-handed second, ambidextrous last. And I'm like,
which is not true.
What has society not done to us?
Speaking from my own perspective, because when I became ambidextrous, aside from the fact that it took a toll on my my results, but I was able to come to a point whereby I had to learn how to learn the reading pattern that suits me. So I had to start learning. It took a little bit of time, because I got frustrated most times when I read and I don't assimilate. But I had to come to a point whereby I had to say, okay, this doesn't work for me, this should work for me, and trying it out until I found that pattern that was suitable for me. And right now I'm doing well academically again. So people, like, if you look online, you're going to see different opinions as regards to using the right hand, using left hand, all this nonsense. Stick to what you know and how you know how to do it best.
Craft your normal.
Whoa, exactly. I think
just craft your normal, create your normal, stick to your normal. That is the cap of it all.
So thank you for tuning into my channel today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so if you like what you see, please endeavor to like, that's the thumbs up, subscribe, and also hit that notification bell. All right, comment. All right, if you're ambidextrous like me, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you very much. I'm also going to drop our Instagram handle if you want to talk to her, you want to get to know her. Make sure your messages, the messages you send, are appropriate, if you know what I mean. All right, thank you for staying tuned. Bye.